Hey guys, are you ready for more Marl? Good. It's been a long time, but it's good to see you again. Today, we're going to keep going with our Darth Vader counter to Rey. We've gotten a couple new toys in the last month. The meta has shifted a little bit, so let's check out what we've got now to defeat Galactic Legends Rey. So, we're going to always focus on our Empire team. Now, the first thing we want to look at though is our leadership. The meta's shifted a bit, and now I think the best option is to use the Darth Vader lead. There's a couple of reasons why. I think the Grand Admiral Thrawn lead was best when we couldn't go second after Rey. When Malak was in there, he would always block our turn meter gain from the weapon tech, so we could never get Darth Vader out there going fast enough. So we had to have Thrawn set up with Shore and the tank tech, but we really don't need that as much as we used to. Plus the fins aren't nearly as fast. Our goal is going to be to get Darth Vader to go second. And you can see, even without Moff Gideon, it's going to be a big benefit to us. But let's see how we can still do this. Now, first things first, there's always Darth Vader. You guys know I'm rocking that R8 Darth Vader. He's got excellent mods. He's always the key to the team. Just a quick review on what we want out of Darth Vader and some targets you guys can shoot for too. So you see mine, about 70,000 health. That's just whatever. The speeds, I'm looking at over 260. If you're a little under, that's okay too, because he's getting speed from other places. I do recommend the crit damage triangle and the offense set. There's just too many times he doesn't crit against either Rey or Kylo. So I think you do definitely 100% want the offense set and the two-piece tenacity with the tenacity cross. You can see my number here. It's checking in just over 100. That's excellent. Anything over 100 is excellent. Rey has about 100 base tenacity. So as long as you're right there, you won't get any extra buffs resisted from Rey. And if we go here, you can see me close to 9,000 damage. That's at R8. And the offense set, you probably won't be getting that high. As long as you're in the 8,000s, I think we should be just fine though. Obviously, if you're going to run the crit damage set, that number is going to be quite a bit lower. Again, I do recommend offense, but it's not necessary. We see my crit rate is over 75%, very close to 79. I've got plus 20 from secondary pieces alone. That's pretty tough to do, but you do definitely want to be over 75. Plus, with all the Holdos out there, she could be very well giving Rey an extra 20 crit avoidance. So I think it's really critical that we get over that number. I would not run the CC triangle. I just don't think that's worth it. I think you need all the extra damage you can get. And we're going to see as we run it about where the damage numbers shake out without Watt. Let's see who else is in our crew. Thrawn, always very fast. A lot of people now have geared him as well for C. Before we were seeing people, R1, R2. Now we're at R6. Mine's clocked in at about 317 speed. So he could certainly be a little better. Only 70,000 protection. Again, not great. But he's doing what he's got to do. Admiral Piett, I think he definitely want to be fast. Mine's not crazy. He's here right about 310. I should probably get him a bit quicker. But he's definitely doing what we need him to do. And our last one, the new one, is Moff Giddeon. Now, he needs to be incredibly fast. He is going to be the key to your team. He needs to go before Resistance Hero Finn. Again, that should be doable with the best mods. Finn can be pretty fast. I'm rocking him at 152 on the speed, 350. So that would run faster than a Finn at 320. Finn could still outrun Moff. You're definitely going to want to check speeds, but very few Finns are going to be going that fast now. Even if you don't run Moff, you definitely want to outrun Finn, with Watt and Vader. And the last guy in our crew here is Shore. Mine's R5. I think that you are definitely taking more damage on Shore than with the Thrawn lead. So if you're only getting away with R3, you might want to think about a little bit better. Definitely incredible protection on him and defense. The thing about the Thrawn lead as well with Watt, to even add on, is Thrawn's giving you plus 30% protection, so that's gone. You don't have the tank tech on him, so you don't have all the healing. You don't have the turn meter gain from the Thrawn lead. It's also, feeding that tank tech to hit over and over. But really, this team, it's doing its job. It's killing the Rey. It's saving Wat. And, well, let's get to it. Let's see how this one works for us. Let's get into some actual battles, and we'll kind of break down how these work. All right, this one is going to be from one of my recent territory wars. So this is actually live action that we're seeing. Who's our comp? So this particular one, it's got L3 in it, so it does have a pre-taunt. It's got Holdo in there. They're trying to feed some critical avoidance onto Rey. She also has a cleanse. That's the thing, is when people are running Jedi training Rey and Holdo, they have all these opportunities to cleanse your Rey. And with the Darth Vader lead, they can't cleanse. The dots are just going to come right back. Not that you can't recover with Thrawn, but it's much, much harder. So let's get started here, and let's see how this one plays out. All right, Rey, Lifeblood, as always. And all right, here we go. Moff Giddeon. We're going to reset everybody's turn meter. And now, we'll see here, everybody went back to 0, except for Vader. Vader's Zeta prevents him from losing any TM. So right away, he's at 100%, and here we go with Vader. Now, Finn is not inspired, so he doesn't have the tenacity. We can start to land all of our debuffs, and I am going to crush on... I've heard recently that you're supposed to crush on the bro who doesn't have lifeblood. I think with Wat, that's fine. I probably should have gone for the ability block here. That was a bad job out of me, because now Finn's going to hit me later on. But let's keep going here, and we'll see how this plays out. All right, just not an ability block on Rey either. Not the greatest there. I was going to say hit Holdo last so she doesn't counter, but she doesn't have the inspiration, so we don't have to worry about that. And we'll crush again. We're up to 5 dots on Rey. She got another lifeblood there, another crit immunity. Kind of annoying, but we'll keep going. And we don't really have... we can't kill anybody there. Everybody has the crit immunity, so we'll just skip our turn. We're going to swap to Piett. We're going to clear all of our taunts, and here's our fracture. Excellent. This is where we want to be. This is the goal of every Vader team, is to get that Rey fracture, and here we go. Awesome. And now Gideon does his next move. Here's the armor shred. This is also how he replaces Wat. You can't ignore all the armor on every character, but we'll at least get something onto Rey. So let's go. So we've got no taunts. We've got our option. Here we go. Perfect. So, and we did let Finn go. Then he got Poe again. At least we had crit immunity, so we didn't get totally wrecked by it. And you can see Finn would have cleansed everybody there. But we used the Vader lead, so we're back in business with all of our dots. And Shore had, for the most part, put crit immunity out on people. Still can't kill anyone here. We're only 1 turn away. If we could have been, that would be great, but no worries. And on to the next here. So we'll just pass this off with Gideon. Hopefully we'll get back to Vader's turn here, and we can go to business. Alright, just waiting. Now, we can't keep Rey fractured permanently. It's kind of one of the downsides, but we do get back to where we need to go. Alright, so here we go. We got 1 turn left for the crush. Let's make sure we get that before we kill Rey. And I'm going to try to build up as many stacks here with Piett as I can. Rey's got 8 dots and a speed down. I think we're going to be able to get her. But we're going to get as many Piett stacks. We've got 5. Now we got 6. So moment of truth here. 300,000. Excellent. Plenty to kill Rey. It's going to be cleanup at this point. Shore's looking pretty rough, though. He does get some heals if he's taunting. Unfortunately, he's not taunting, so he's not getting healed at all. I haven't really found too much of use for this daze from Gideon, so we're just going to basic. Hopefully we can let Shore live. We can stun Finn here. Perfect. And Holdo killed him. Oh well, that'll cost us some banners. Generally, this one isn't as good as the pure Thrawn lead on banners. With the Thrawns, if you play them really well, you can get those 60s, 59s. Just a really, really good run. This one I've found, it's still high 50s, which is very good for killing Rey, but an average of probably 2 or 3 lower. So let's finish this out here, and we'll see where we end up. Hopefully we can get around soon. They got a shot at Thrawn. That wasn't great. Got an armor shred available. Probably could have hit Holdo here as she was coming out of damage immunity soon with low health. And I staggered Thrawn, of course. Now, Piett should be able to hit very hard since his inevitable failure target died. Probably should have targeted Holdo there too, but we didn't. Oh well. We'll still get Finn out. And excellent. Looks like this is going to be a cleanup. Pretty easy. We'll skip to the end. And let's get a final number. This was in Territory Wars, a 19. Not bad, not a 20. But again, that's a pretty big win against Rey. Now let's see another one here. And hopefully we'll play this one better. This one's actually going to be in a grand arena. This one is coming to us on one of our Discord streams. So let's see what we've got in this particular. Same comp here. Again, with the fast Moff Giddeon. We're going to run shore. I've seen some run without shore. I don't like it. It's doable. Again, it depends on the comp. But if they're going to hit you with both the bros, I think you definitely want shore. You can also run Treya instead of Piett. This particular comp here, we see it has veteran scoundrel Chewie. I can see why he would be in the comp. If you're just going to pound on Rey, he's going to take a ton of stacking offense and could possibly, one-shot some characters. So let's see how we're going to deal with him. Again, Moff Giddeon goes second. Let's restart all of the turn meter, and let's get to work with Vader. We even got, so since there was no pre-taunt, we actually got a couple shots on Rey there to start to wear her down. Excellent. And again, force of habit here, we crushed on Rey. I would probably crush on one of the tanks, since you can still hit everybody else, as long as those tanks aren't going to counter you. And excellent, we got the ability block on Finn, and you'll see how much of a difference this makes throughout the fight. They really can't do anything to us anymore. And we'll just crush again here. Again, without Watt in there, a couple of these crushes or shorts taunt don't really matter since you're not getting the extra debuffs. Again, would have been nice to AB Rey so she didn't do that again, but that's okay. There's our armor shred. Excellent. Now we're in business. So hopefully our fracture comes real soon, because we've got Rey totally pinned down here. Perfect. Now we can get rid of all of that pesky crit immunity. Okay. Starting to get some stacks on Rey. Very nice. Here's our taunt. Now we all have our crit immunity. We can put the mark onto Piett as well. Alright, what do we want to do here? We could probably get a kill, yeah. No crit immunity here on Chewie. Let's see with how many debuffs does he have. They're tough to see. Looks like he's got 7 total. Again, no armor shred. He's got a little bit of the purple protection there. Hard to see. You can see it up in the top right, though. So let's kind of get a good feeling about how much damage exactly we're doing without Watt. Because, with Watt, this shot would probably hit for, 500,000-600,000. It could kill anybody very easily. But let's see what we've got here on Chewie. Perfect. 300,000. That should be enough to kill any character, realistically. Except that the tank's probably with a lot of protection. And let's see. And now again, I would probably try to basic Rey when I got back to her. Yeah, we're going to crush on Holdo. That also prevents her from countering us. We'd probably even go for the kill on Rey here. Let's see what our number is. You could have hit Poe again for an extra Piett stack if you wanted. Let's see how effective that armor shred is. 500,000. Excellent. Not even close. Again, if you had Watt, you could probably be 700,000, but if you play it right, especially with the Vader lead, you get plenty of dots. The armor shred really helps you out. And Rey's dead. Chewie's already dead. This one's going to be a cleanup at this point. The bros are both ability blocked. Shore is taunting still. He never got the buff immunity, so he continued to have the crit immunity. Poe was never able to strip him. Much better this time than the previous one. And hopefully this is an easy cleanup after Holdo. See, they did get Thrawn. They do definitely like to go Thrawn. I wouldn't go too weak on him, obviously. I don't have the best protection. At this point, it doesn't matter, but we are still scoring points. All right, let's get Poe out of there. We can even skip to the end. This is not super important. And let's see what we've got here. Perfect. 58 banners. Again, that's much more the score we're looking for. Some of the other ones, that first one, not so good. This one, much better. You can see just better played, too, by hitting Finn with the basic instead of crushing on him. So definitely make sure to do that. Let's also check out some other comps. We've got a couple with Rey and Scoundrels too, the Bando group that's been coming up lately. So let's see what we've got here. Alright, now we are going to need to use some different tactics if we face Rey and the Bando Scoundrels. We'll check this out here. The issue is that with IG-11 is he is going to remove all of the dots and apply them back to you. So we're going to see that we use Traya. Thank you very much to Z for this comp. I guess you're not just comedy. So let's see how this plays out. Pretty standard opener. Vader goes right after MG and into our Merciless Massacre. We'll kind of work our way around. Just remember that Bando himself cannot be ability blocked, so it is definitely good to crush on him. They've got Nest here as the extra spot. A lot of times you're going to see VetChew for the revives or somebody else. Again here, just waiting to get the fracture on Rey. We're going to do the Thrawn swap to Traya. We'll isolate the single tank, and then we will be free to get the fracture on Rey, and then we can do our normal stuff here. So let's see if we can get an ability block. Excellent, always good to stop those whirlwinds on Rey. And there's our armor shred. Excellent. The daze is just not that effective against Vader because the bonus turns go right through the daze. We're starting to get plenty of dots out here as well. Very good start. Queel did not get that shock there as well. Very good. And we see that we're already almost back into Merciless Massacre. I don't think we can get Bando there if he's got the book on him and only 9 dots. Excellent job getting Queel though. And IG-11 is blocked. Perfect. The only problem again we see here is that with the Vader lead, and now that we have Traya in there, it's much harder to hold the fracture permanently. Here we are, we've already lost it. You know, if we could have bladed IG-11, maybe we get back to, you know, Rey quickly, but that's all right. We're going to see the other side of Moff Giddeon here as well, as not only does he get the armor shred and shut everybody down, but he gives everybody that minus 50% offense. So let's see how Rey does in her ultimate. Normally, I think she does about 65,000 across the board, especially against teams that have a lot of turn meter gain. She does stack her offense. And right here, perfect. Grabbed it at the right time. She hits just under 50,000. She did come close to getting Traya, didn't get her. That would have removed the isolate, which could have been not good. But now we've got a chance to refracture her and go back to work. So let's see how this one finishes. And we're right back into Merciless Massacre, and we can say goodbye to Rey very soon here. Get a couple extra dots just in case. She was a little close to damage immunity. No worries though. 360,000, well enough to kill her. Again, we just got to kind of watch out for Bando here. We don't want him to be able to proc all of the damage immunity on himself and then someone else. That just gets to be a real pain. So the fracture there is actually a pretty good move. You know, he's got 17 dots here at this point. Hopefully we'll get him with a good blade, or we can continue to work around here. And let's see how we finish here. We can go back into Merciless Massacre. Even with that book, I think that, you know, he would die easily. You saw there, over 700,000. Probably could have done it earlier, but no rush now that we had him fractured. And we'll just kind of see how this one finishes up here. And we'll see that everybody is going to be alive. And don't time out. There goes Nest. This one's going to end up being, I'd say this one's a 56 on the board. Pretty good, a 20 in TW, 56 in GAC. Can't complain about that. Let's check one more here that actually doesn't go so well. And this one was actually mine, and I am facing Rey and Bando as well, except this time their fifth is going to be another tank. They have L3, and I do not bring Traya, and we'll see kind of why she is pretty good here. Let's skip to our opener. All right, again, Rey going to go first. Moff Giddeon will be going second, and into Merciless Massacre. Now you see right there, we called everyone on to IG-11. It probably wasn't very good. That made L3 take a turn very quickly. She gets some TM whenever the other scoundrels are getting hit. So this was a rare comp, but do keep that in mind, and we'll see now what we've got here as Vader goes into Merciless Massacre. And hopefully we will do our crush on Bando because we know how to play. Perfect. Can't really do anything to L3 there, unfortunately. We're just kind of trying to get all of our basics out. Hopefully we'll get one on Queel, then we can get some more dots out. Hopefully we'll reduce some turn meter. Didn't really happen very much. You see Rey was ability block, so all she could do was the basic. She couldn't put out any more lifeblood. Unfortunately, we're still stuck behind 2 taunts at this point. And even when we clear the taunts, we got a little bit of a problem here, and that L3 probably going to go again pretty soon. See, we've got Rey fractured. Excellent. The health looks good. Everything's looking good right now, and we'll kind of see that this just doesn't go the way we want. Here we go. We see IG-11 took the turn, and now everybody has a ton of dots. If we had Traya, that wouldn't happen. If we had the Thrawn lead, we get a ton of TM from it, but you don't want to lose fracture by giving Thrawn too much TM. If you had Watt here, you could easily cleanse them as well. You'd also be doing a lot more damage. We'll kind of see where that plays out here. And you see we can't hit the armor shred on anyone, but we're still Rey's pretty hurt. We should be able to take a good shot. Bando here has gone into his stance, but our health is still pretty high. Again, kind of stuck behind those tanks. We probably could have bladed L3 there with 5 or 6. Especially if we had armor shredded her. Let's see what we've got here, though. Now she went into damage immunity. Now she's out. She will leave the damage immunity very quick. And see, here is the problem now is Queel's got the shock onto Shore Trooper. We're still stuck behind the taunts. Alright, so Merciless Massacre. We see Thrawn could be taking a turn sooner or later. Let's see what we can do, though. So let's work up our buffs from Piett to try to get as much offense as we can to take a good shot at Rey. 7 dots plus the speed down. That looks not bad. I think we had to go for it here. Unfortunately, no armor shreds. Let's see how many we get. 6 from Piett. This was a pretty healthy Rey. 220. That's usually enough to kill her. It was a pretty healthy one. If we would have gotten her, we probably never would have even thought twice about this. It would be an easy clear, but she's stuck in damage immunity. And normally, again, we'd be able to survive the ult just fine, but we've got all these dots on us. Let's see kind of where we can go. If we can get all 5, still standing at the ult, we'll at least be able to, for Thrawn and Vader to survive and get Rey the next turn. So let's see if we can get any of these guys out. Unfortunately, we knocked Queel into damage immunity. Actually, that was probably provided by Bando there. And we see Moff's only got 4. He's got 4. He's in the red. He's almost out. We don't have our blade up, but we can get L3. Now Moff's got shock 2. There goes Moff. Shore's got 15 dots on him. You can see what Trey was doing here. Similarly, Watt would have been able to cleanse those. We probably could have killed Bando with the blade there too, but let's see where we can work this down. probably take out Bando with a good shot there. He's got 11 debuffs. Hopefully he'll die on his own turn. And in a way, we just ended up holding for a cleanup. But we see how Rey works here. Rey with the scoundrels. We know we got to have a plan to deal with IG-11. If that's going to be Traya, that's fine. If that's going to be Watt, that's fine too. Let's see how much Rey actually gets us for. Right at the end. Whoops, that was about what, 115,000. So enough to kill Thrawn and Vader, not quite enough to kill Piett, who had all of the stacking health from his inevitable failure. But we kind of now at least know what we're doing. I think that MG is going to be a great tool for us. Definitely want to be able to use him. You definitely need him fast. And if you can save Watt, that's our goal here. The banners are still good. It's out there. Let's keep working on it, guys. Good to see you again. Stay tuned for more Marl. Take it easy.